Drug users in Ireland will soon have access to medically supervised injection facilities in a bid to reduce drug fatalities. Ireland currently has a serious drug problem. The government is now looking at a range of initiatives to combat drug abuse. These measures also include the decriminalization of small amounts of heroin, cocaine, and cannabis for personal use. CCTV correspondent Laura Sexton has more.
Drug use on Dublin streets is a sight that people have now become accustomed to.
The people who inject in public use these as an opportunity to move them around and to create spaces where they can't be found, where they won't be seen, and then they inject in public in amongst, I suppose, filth, human waste. You can see here there's needles, there's citric packets, there's lids from needles, there's all sorts of drug paraphernalia, not just your traditional syringe, but this whole space tells me that public injecting goes on here regularly. We think that around 400 people in any given month would inject in the public domain, and that would be a conservative estimate.
Drugs are claiming the lives of one person per day in Ireland. But for the first time, drug users will now have access to medically supervised injection facilities, a move that is hoped will reduce fatalities. There are approximately 90 medically supervised injection facilities globally, and no one is said to have died in one. But many here are debating whether these facilities are the answer, or are they just simply moving the problem out of sight and out of mind.
Public injecting by its very nature is furtive. People hide themselves away, so they don't feel cared for. And when you get people into a medically supervised environment, the message is, we care for you, we're going to make sure you're safe, we're going to make sure you walk out of here alive.
It would be a lot better, yeah.
It would be a lot better, because then again you won't be getting arrested or in a rush to inject, because you can do damage to yourself if you do it wrong. I think it is a great idea to bring something in.
Ireland's Minister in charge of drugs is pushing the government to decriminalise small quantities of drugs for personal use, following in the footsteps of countries like Portugal. While this conversation is still only at discussion stages, it's one that Charlie and many other drug users I talk to welcome.
It's an outrage, just like getting in.
It is an outrage getting in so much trouble over just you don't want to be using at the end of the day. That's the truth. Like, no addict wants to be the way they are and getting into trouble, for it is ridiculous.
However, others say decriminalisation would need to be looked at more thoroughly before anything is implemented.
Ireland is trying to humanise its drug problem, while medically supervised injection rooms will save some lives. The bigger question here is, will any of these initiatives go further in helping to solve Ireland's serious drug problem? Laura Sexton, CCTV, Dublin.